Optional safety equipment may include emergency phone numbers, tire chains, and red reflective triangles. B. A charged fire extinguisher. C. Tire changing equipment. Tire changing equipment. If the vehicle in front of you is smaller than yours, it can probably make turns faster than you. B. Outrun you. C. Stop faster than you. Stop faster than you. Which of these statements about drinking alcohol is true? Statistics show that drivers who have been drinking have a much greater chance of being in a crash. B. Alcohol first affects judgment and self-control, which are essential for safe driving. C. Both of these are true. Both of these are true. The Commercial Driver's Handbook suggests several things to do when you pass a vehicle. Which one of these is not one of them? Constantly blow your horn while passing the vehicle. B. Assume the other driver does not see you. C. At night, flash your lights from low to high beam and back while you pass the vehicle. Constantly blow your horn while passing the vehicle. Which of the following is not a type of retarder? Electric. B. Hydraulic. C. Robotic. Robotic. Which of these statements is true about medicines used to treat the common cold? They often make you sleepy. Therefore, they should be used while driving. B. They can be used while driving as long as you only take half the regular dose. C. They should only be used when driving during the daytime. They often make you sleepy. Therefore, they should not be used while driving. Dry bulk tanks and hanging meat, do not require special care. B. Have low centers of gravity. C. Are unstable loads. Are unstable loads. When inspecting mirrors and windshields for cracks, dirt, illegal stickers, and other obstructions to your vision, you should, not worry about any of it. B. Clean and adjust as necessary. C. Look in the mirror to see if you look good. Clean and adjust as necessary. Which one of these statements is not true about engine belts in hot weather? Cracking is likely to occur, but it is not a safety threat. B. Loose belts will not turn the water pump and or fan on properly. C. You can check the tightness of belts by pressing on them. Cracking is likely to occur, but it is not a safety threat. Which of these statements is not true? Alcohol goes directly from the stomach to the bloodstream. B. Your blood alcohol level back is determined by how fast you drink, how much you drink, and how much you weigh. C. A drinker can control how fast his or her body absorbs and gets rid of alcohol. A drinker can control how fast his or her body absorbs and gets rid of alcohol. Why make emergency plans when you see a hazard? To have something to do while driving. B. To avoid getting a ticket. C. To protect yourself and others. To protect yourself and others. Which of these is a good thing to do while driving at night? Keep your instrument lights bright. B. Drive slowly enough to stop within the range of your headlights. C. Look directly at oncoming headlights only briefly. Drive slowly enough to stop within the range of your headlights. When driving in an area with few street lights on a clear night, if you cannot see well with your headlights, you should, use your high beams when legal and keep your interior lights off. B. Turn your interior lights on. C. Find another route that is better lit. Use your high beams when legal and keep your interior lights off. Which of these is the most important thing to remember about emergency braking? Disconnecting the steering axle brakes will help keep your vehicle in a straight line. B. Never do it without downshifting first. C. If the wheels are skidding, you cannot control the vehicle. If the wheels are skidding, you cannot control the vehicle. What is the most important reason for being alert to hazards? A. Accident reports will be accurate. B. You will have time to plan your escape if the hazard becomes an emergency. C. Law enforcement personnel can be called. You will have time to plan your escape if the hazard becomes an emergency. What are two special situations in which you should downshift before starting down a hill and before entering a curve? Before starting up a hill and when going around a curve. When starting off fast and speed shifting. Before starting down a hill and before entering a curve. Which of these statements about certain types of cargo is true? When liquids are hauled, the tank should always be loaded completely full. Oversized loads can be hauled without special permits during daylight hours. Unstable loads such as hanging meat or livestock require extra caution on curves. Unstable loads such as hanging meat or livestock require extra caution on curves. What should you do if your vehicle hydroplanes accelerate slightly? Countersteer hard. Release the accelerator. Release the accelerator. What are some advantages of going right instead of left around an obstacle someone may be passing to the left? It is much easier to turn a truck to the right. Both of these answers are correct. Both of these answers are correct. If you have a heavy load that is slowing you down on an upgrade, you should shift into a lower gear. Drive on the shoulder so that others can pass you easily. Exit the roadway until traffic is lighter. Shift into a lower gear. What is an advantage of going right instead of left around an obstacle? It is much easier to turn a truck to the right. If you are blocked on both sides, a move to the right won't force another vehicle into an opposing traffic lane and a possible head-on collision. There is no advantage. If you are blocked on both sides, a move to the right won't force another vehicle into an opposing traffic lane and a possible head-on collision. If your vehicle catches fire while you are driving, you should park in an open area. B. Park where trees or a building can shelter your vehicle from the wind. C. Increase your speed to put out the flames. Park in an open area. Name two causes of fires. A. Driver smoking and following too close. B. Tight turns and gravel roads. C. Underinflated tires and duals that touch. Underinflated tires and duals that touch. Which of these can cause the vehicle to skid? A. Over-acceleration. B. Not enough weight on the front axle. C. Both of the above. Both of the above. Which of the following statements is true? Most hazards are more easily seen at night than during the day. B. Many heavy vehicle accidents occur between midnight and 6 a.m. C. Most people are more alert at night than during the day. Many heavy vehicle accidents occur between midnight and 6 a.m. Which of the following best describes how sleep debt can be paid off? A. I can be overcome with willpower and non-sleep aids. B. It will go away by itself over a period of time. C. It can only be paid off by sleeping. It can only be paid off by sleeping. Some liquid tanks are divided into several smaller tanks by A. Studs. B. Bulkheads. C. Regulators. Bulkheads. Tie-downs must be of the proper type and strength. The combined strength of the cargo tie-downs must be enough to lift A. Twice the weight of the cargo tie-down. B. 1.5 times the weight of the cargo tied down. C. 3 times the weight of the cargo tied down. 1.5 times the weight of the cargo tied down. You should try to park your vehicle so that, there is at least one curb next to your vehicle. B. Your vehicle is protected by trees or some overhang. C. You can pull forward when you leave. You can pull forward when you leave. What should you do if you see a hazard in the roadway? Stop quickly and pull to the side of the road. B. Swerve around it and get back into your lane. C. Use your faraway flashers or brake lights to warn others. Use your faraway flashers or brake lights to warn others. You are driving a 40-foot vehicle at 35 miles per hour. The road is dry and visibility is good. What is the least amount of space you should keep in front of your vehicle to be safe? 2 seconds. B. 4 seconds. C. 6 seconds. 4 seconds. Which of the following cannot be checked at the same time? Brake lights, turn signals, and faraway flasher functions. B. Headlights and amber reflectors. C. Brake lights and red reflectors on rear. Brake lights, turn signals, and faraway flasher functions. The reaction distance is the distance traveled from the time, the brain tells the foot to push the brake pedal to the time the foot actually pushes the pedal. B. The eyes see a hazard to the time the brain knows that it is a hazard. C. The eyes see a hazard to the time the foot pushes the brake pedal. The brain tells the foot to push the brake pedal to the time the foot actually pushes the pedal. Loads that are over length, over width, or overweight require driving limited to certain times. B. Flashing lights. C. Both of the above. Both of the above. Which of these is not a proper use of vehicle lights? Flashing your brake lights to stop someone from tailgating. B. Flashing your brake lights to warn someone behind you that you are slowing down. C. Turning on your headlights during times when visibility is reduced. Flashing your brake lights to stop someone from tailgating. Which of these is important to check before driving in the winter? Tires. B. Exhaust. C. Both of the above. Both of the above. High beams should be, dimmed whenever you get within 100 feet of another vehicle. B. Turned on when an oncoming driver does not dim his or her lights. C. Used when it is safe and legal to do so. Used when it is safe and legal to do so. Which of these is true about the radiator shutters and the winter front? The engine may overheat if the winter front is left open. B. You should remove ice from the radiator shutters. C. The winter front should be closed tightly. You should remove ice from the radiator shutters. When you check the condition of visible parts during your pre-trip inspection, make sure that they are secured against snagging, rubbing, or wearing. Airlines and electrical wiring. B. Frame and cross members. C. Primary and secondary safety cadlocks. Airlines and electrical wiring. Which of these statements about overhead clearance is true? If the road surface causes your vehicle to tilt toward objects at the edge of the road, you should drive close to the shoulder. B. The weight of a vehicle changes its height. C. You should assume that the posted clearance signs are correct. The weight of a vehicle changes its height. You should schedule your driving, for the hours you are normally awake. B. Between the hours of 10 a.m. and midnight. C. between the hours of 4 a.m. and 6 p.m. for the hours you are normally awake. Which of these is true about hours of service? A. You should balance your hours of service with enough sleep to keep you alert. B. You must take a break after every 2 hours of driving. C. After 1,000 hours of service, you will be exempt from certain regulations. You should balance your hours of service with enough sleep to keep you alert. A vehicle is loaded with most of the weight on the steering axle. What may result? A. Better handling. B. Hard steering and possible damage to the tires. C. Too little traction on the steering axle. Hard steering and possible damage to the tires. As your blood alcohol concentration back rises, what happens? A. You can sober up in less time. B. You see more clearly how alcohol is affecting you. C. Judgment and self-control are affected. Judgment and self-control are affected. What effects can wet brakes cause? A. Brakes can work better. B. Your foot can get tired. C. Brakes can grab or become weak. Brakes can grab or become weak. What should you do if you get stuck on the railroad tracks? A. Stay in your vehicle. B. Get out of your vehicle and away from the tracks. C. Scream for help. Get out of your vehicle and away from the tracks. Which of these can cause a fire? A. Underinflated tires. B. Loose fuel connections. C. Both of these. Both of these. Which of these statements about accelerating is true? A. When traction is poor, more power should be applied to the accelerator. B. You should feel a jerking motion if you are accelerating your vehicle properly. C. Rough acceleration can cause mechanical damage. Rough acceleration can cause mechanical damage. How do you calculate how many seconds of following distance you have? A. Wait until the vehicle ahead of you passes a clear landmark. Then count off the seconds until you reach the same spot. B. Wait until the vehicle ahead of you passes a clear landmark. Then count off the seconds until you reach the same spot and then double that number. C. Divide your speed by 4 and add 1 second for every 10 feet of trailer you are hauling. Wait until the vehicle ahead of you passes a clear landmark. Then count off the seconds until you reach the same spot. Which of the following conditions may require a less than legal maximum weight? A. Driving at night. B. Driving in mountains. C. Driving in traffic. D. Driving on flat road. Driving in mountains. If you have more than one license, you likely can get away with it because states do not share information on licenses. B. You may get caught since all states are connected to a computerized network. C. You should not tell anyone. D. You likely won't get caught since there are so many people with licenses. You may get caught since all states are connected to a computerized network. When taking the skills test, drivers are encouraged not to exit the vehicle to look at the vehicle's position. B. Not permitted to stop and exit the vehicle to look at the vehicle's position. C. Allowed to leave the vehicle only if they put the vehicle in reverse. D. Allowed to leave the vehicle only if the vehicle is placed in neutral and the parking brake is set. Allowed to leave the vehicle only if the vehicle is placed in neutral and the parking brake is set. How is the parking brake released? A. By tapping on the brake pedal 3 times. B. Pushing in the brake control knob. C. Tap the accelerator pedal twice. D. The parking brake is automatically released when the vehicle is started. pushing in the brake control knob. After 2 convictions of any state law involving handheld mobile phone use, you will need to cancel your mobile phone service. B. Your CDL will be disqualified. C. You will be required to drive 10 miles per hour slower than the posted speed limit. Your CDL will be disqualified. When starting a vehicle, warning lights and buzzers, should stay on for several minutes. B. Should turn off within a few seconds. C. Should stay on until manually turned off. D. Should not come on. Should turn off within a few seconds. Some air brake systems put alcohol in the system to lubricate the parts. B. Prevent ice from forming in the brake system. C. Make the brakes work without squeaking. Prevent ice from forming in the brake system. What can happen if the air pressure gets too low in the air brake system? The brakes will be very sensitive. B. The brakes may squeak. C. The brakes may not work. D. The brakes may be sluggish. The brakes may not work. Pressing and releasing the brake pedal unnecessarily can, let air out faster than it can be replaced. B. Add more air to the brake system. C. Create a loud noise. D. Make the brake pedal more sensitive. Let air out faster than it can be replaced. A driver can have, 2 licenses, one for automobiles and one for trucks. B. An automobile license from one state and a CDL from another. A license for each state they will drive in. Only one license. Only one license. When driving, about how often should you stop and take a break to avoid getting too tired? Every hour. B. Every 2 hours. C. Every half hour. D. Every 6 hours. Every 2 hours. If another driver is tailgating you, you should, speed up. B. Flash your lights. C. Increase your following distance with the vehicle in front. D. Move to the left lane. Increase your following distance with the vehicle in front. How much water is needed to hydroplane? A good amount, such as a large puddle. B. No water. C. Usually several inches. D. A small amount. A small amount. When the brake pedal is pushed down, air brakes work, after about a minute. B. Immediately. C. After a short delay. D. Only if it is warm outside. After a short delay. When driving, you should not worry about other drivers. B. You should never look at the mirrors. C. You should enjoy the scenery. D. You should always develop a plan to get out of any dangerous situation. You should always develop a plan to get out of any dangerous situation. Why are multi-speed axles and auxiliary transmissions used? To make the vehicle less noisy. B. To get improved gas mileage. C. To provide extra gears. D. To make a vehicle smoother. To provide extra gears. When doing an inspection, brake pads should, be free of oil or grease. B. Be covered with grease. C. Be covered with oil. D. Be covered with coolant. Be free of oil or grease. Which of the following situations is acceptable if found during a pre-trip inspection? A. Mismatched sized tires. B. Cracks in the tires. C. Tires manufactured by different makers. D. Tread of 332 in the grooves of the front tires. Tires manufactured by different makers. When checking tires, you should check for all of the following except a. Too much air pressure. B. Too little air pressure. C. That the tire is made by the same company as other tires. That the tire is made by the same company as other tires. If not drained, air tanks can result in a. Squishy brakes. B. Too much fuel being carried. C. Too much air collecting. D. The water freezing and causing brake failure. The water freezing and causing brake failure. When using mirrors, you should a. Only use the driver's side mirror. B. Only use the passenger side mirror. C. Stare for a long time at the mirror. D. Look quickly at the mirror. Look quickly at the mirror. Convex mirrors, a. Can replace flat mirrors. B. Cannot be used on vehicles with hazardous materials. C. Are illegal in most states. D. Can be helpful in seeing more area. Can be helpful in seeing more area. Why should rear mirrors be adjusted to show part of the vehicle, as well as the road behind you? Having all roadway in the mirrors would likely make the driver carsick. B. Having part of the truck in the mirrors serves as a point of reference. C. It is illegal to only have the road in the mirror. D. To be able to see the reflection of vehicles on the trailer. Having part of the truck in the mirrors serves as a point of reference. If the brakes pull to one side or the other when you use them. A. It is a sign the brakes need to be checked. B. It is a sign the brakes are new. C. It is a sign the brakes are working properly. D. It is a sign the brakes have too much stopping power. It is a sign the brakes need to be checked. When carrying a wide load, the driver should a. Drive as fast as possible. B. Drive on the shoulder. C. Honk at other drivers to get them to move from the lane closest to you. D. Obtain special permits and follow special rules, such as driving during certain times. Obtain special permits and follow special rules, such as driving during certain times. Cargo on flatbed trailers should be a. Pushed to one side. B. Tied down. C. Left loose. D. Glued down. Tied down. During the driving test, the examiner will be scoring you on a. General driving behavior. B. How quickly you get to your destination. C. How fast you drive. General driving behavior. What kind of force must emergency brakes use? A. Air pressure. B. Mechanical. C. Electrical. D. Heavy. Mechanical. When taking the on-road driving test, you must do all of the following except a. Buy the test administrator something to drink. B. Wear your safety belt. C. Obey all traffic signs. D. Complete the test without an accident. Buy the test administrator something to drink. A pre-trip inspection, a. Should never be done the same way 2 times in a row. B. Should always be done in the same order. C. Should only be done if it is sunny outside. D. Should not be done if the driver thinks the vehicle is in good operating order. Should always be done in the same order. Why do you need to drain the air tank regularly? A. To remove bad air. B. To allow for a change in pressure. C. Because compressed air contains some water and the water collects in the tanks. D. Because the air gets old and needs to be replaced. Because compressed air contains some water and the water collects in the tanks. In the vehicle inspection, when asked about the engine oil, you should be able to do all of the following, except A. Show that level is above refill mark. B. Know where the dipstick is located. C. Show that oil is below the refill mark. D. Show that oil is within safe operating range. Show that oil is below the refill mark. If something is found to be unsafe during a pre-trip inspection, you should let a more experienced driver use the truck. B. You should continue with the trip and make an appointment with a mechanic when the trip is completed. C. You should get it fixed immediately. D. You should just not use the items found to be unsafe. You should get it fixed immediately. If there is a cargo fire in a van or box truck, the doors should be opened. B. The doors should be kept shut. C. A large blanket should be put over the vehicle to put the fire out. The doors should be kept shut. The header board, if equipped, should, not be used for cargo. B. Light up when the engine is started. C. Be damaged. D. Be strong enough to contain cargo. Be strong enough to contain cargo. Passive railroad crossings, do not have any type of traffic control device. B. Have flashing lights. C. Should never be crossed by a CMV. D. Will have a gate that comes down. Do not have any type of traffic control device. The drive shaft should be, bent to the passenger side. B. Not bent. C. Bent to the driver's side. D. Bent to one side or the other. Not bent. When doing a pre-trip inspection under the hood, which of the following should be done? Leave the vehicle in a low gear. B. Remove the battery. C. Use the parking brakes and/or use chalk blocks. D. Disconnect the radiator. Use the parking brakes and/or use chalk blocks. When checking the tire condition in the vehicle inspection, you should, ensure the inside of the tires is more worn than the outside. B. Ensure the outside of the tires is more worn than the inside. C. Ensure the tires have even wear. D. Ensure the middle of the tires is more worn than the outside. Ensure the tires have even wear. Why do some air brake systems use alcohol? To lubricate parts. B. To make the compressor run more efficiently. C. To keep items from rusting. D. To reduce the risk of ice in air brake valves during cold weather. To reduce the risk of ice in air brake valves during cold weather. Most heavy-duty vehicles use air brake systems for safety. A. Dual. B. Single. C. Quad. D. Triple. Dual. When driving a vehicle with ABS, you should, pump the brakes several times before holding the brake pedal down. B. Push the brake down as hard as possible for every slow down or stop. C. Brake as you normally would. Brake as you normally would. When approaching a curve during the on-road driving test, you must do all of the following except, check traffic thoroughly in all directions. B. Use the brake continually throughout the curve. C. Reduce speed before entering the curve. D. Keep the vehicle in the lane. Use the brake continually throughout the curve. How much sleep does the average person need every 24 hours? 12 to 13 hours. B. 7 to 8 hours. C. 1 to 2 hours. D. 3 to 4 hours. 7 to 8 hours. If a person operates in both accepted and non-accepted intrastate commerce, what type of license should the driver select? A. Traditional. B. Accepted. C. Either accepted or non-accepted. D. Non-accepted. Non-accepted. What is another name for service line? A. Parallel line. B. Control line. C. Exchange line. D. Surplus line. Control line. For the on-road driving test, you must do all of the following except A. Wear your safety belt. B. Complete the test without a moving violation. C. Exceed the posted speed limit if passing another vehicle. D. Obey all traffic signs. Exceed the posted speed limit if passing another vehicle. What should be used to check for proper tire inflation? A tire gauge. B. A tire iron. C. An air compressor. D. A lug nut. A tire gauge. When a tire goes flat, there may be a loud bang. The truck is affected. A. Only if the truck is hauling a load. B. After a short delay. C. Only if the damaged tire is near the front of the truck. D. Immediately. After a short delay. When starting the vehicle, the cooling temperature gauge should A. Flash until reaching normal operating range. B. Not change from the cool-off position. C. Gradually rise until normal operating range. D. Jump from cool to normal operating range. Gradually rise until normal operating range. What do headers do? A. Provide a place for storage. B. Act as a wind guard. C. Protect your head in a crash. D. Ensure controls are accessible. Protect your head in a crash. If the ABS is malfunctioning, A. The vehicle can still brake. B. The vehicle will have no brakes. C. The vehicle likely travel faster. The vehicle can still brake. Driving at night is A. Discouraged. B. More dangerous than driving during the day. C. About the same as driving during the day. D. Safer than driving during the day. More dangerous than driving during the day. The air storage tanks, A. Hold enough air so the brakes could be used several times if the compressor stops working. B. Hold enough air for more than 1,000 braking cycles. C. Does not hold air unless there is an emergency. D. Hold only enough air for one braking cycle. Hold enough air so the brakes could be used several times if the compressor stops working. When you are sleepy, you should A. Take drugs to keep awake. B. Press on and try to finish the trip. C. Stop for a coffee break. D. Take a nap. Take a nap. Air tank drains, A. Must remain open while driving. B. Are used to drain water and oil from the air tank. C. Should never be opened. D. Allow rainwater to enter the tank. Are used to drain water and oil from the air tank. When conducting a pre-ride inspection, A. Should include a review of the last vehicle inspection report, if applicable. B. The inspection report is not important. C. The inspection report should only be reviewed if there will be passengers in the vehicle. Should include a review of the last vehicle inspection report, if applicable. What can happen if the exhaust system is not working properly? A. It may allow poisonous fumes into the cab. B. It may prevent proper steering. C. It may cause problems if the vehicle is fully loaded. D. It may allow fumes to exit the rear of the muffler system. It may allow poisonous fumes into the cab. During the driving test, when approaching a railroad crossing, you should a. Change lanes while in the crossing. B. Pass another vehicle if the other vehicle is going too slow. C. Not change gears while the vehicle is in the crossing. Not change gears while the vehicle is in the crossing. When steering to avoid a crash, you should a. Speed up as you approach the object. B. Use both hands on the wheel. C. Never use mirrors to look in the other lanes. D. Only use one hand as both hands could slow you down. Use both hands on the wheel. Text messages are permitted if asking a question. B. Are not permitted. C. May be sent if they are short. D. Are encouraged. Are not permitted. Emergency equipment, such as fire extinguishers, is only needed for interstate travel. B. Only required when transporting passengers. C. Required. D. Only needed for vehicles transporting hazardous materials. Required. After a tire has been changed, the driver should stop after a short distance to check the tightness of the lug nuts. B. Admire the new tire. C. See if rocks have gotten into the tread. D. Ensure the tire was installed properly. Check the tightness of the lug nuts. A driver must have a CDL if transporting at least how many passengers including the driver? 16. B. 5. C. 10. 16. Skids caused by acceleration can usually be resolved by taking the foot off the accelerator. B. Coming to a complete stop. C. Switching to a high gear. D. Speeding up. Taking the foot off the accelerator. The individual vehicle distance record must include all of the following except date of trip. B. Number of stops. C. Route of travel. D. Total distance traveled. Number of stops. When driving in fog, you should use the heater. B. Use the low beam lights. C. Use the windshield wipers. D. Use the high beam lights. Use the low beam lights. The best way to avoid glare at night from oncoming vehicles is to look at the side of the road. B. Close your eyes as vehicles approach. C. Use your high beams too. D. Wear sunglasses. Look at the side of the road. If convicted of a traffic violation except parking in your personal car, the CDL will not be affected since the violation is on your personal license. B. You do not have to worry about the CDL since it was in a personal car. C. You should not tell your employer. D. You must tell your employer. You must tell your employer. A way to prevent the vehicle from rolling back when you start to move is to use the parking brake when stopping. B. Placing the vehicle in second gear. C. Partly engage the clutch before taking the foot off the brake. Partly engage the clutch before taking the foot off the brake. If the brakes pull to one side or the other when you use them, it is a sign the brakes are working properly. B. It is a sign the brakes have too much stopping power. C. It is a sign the brakes are new. D. It is a sign the brakes need to be checked. It is a sign the brakes need to be checked. When using a turn signal, when should the turn signal be cancelled? A. Before entering the turn. B. After the turn is completed. C. During the turn. After the turn is completed. Why do you need to drain the air tank regularly? A. To remove bad air. B. Because compressed air contains some water and water collects in the tanks. C. Because the air gets old and needs to be replaced. D. To allow for a change in pressure. Because compressed air gets old and needs to be replaced. What is the average driver's reaction time? A. 2 seconds. B. 1/8 of a second. C. 3/4 second to 1 second. D. 1/16 of a second. 3/4 second to 1 second. When transporting a load, the cargo should be inspected. A. After every break-in driving. B. Only after driving. C. Only before starting to drive. A. After every break-in driving. When going down a downgrade. A. Your speed will decrease. B. You will slow to a stop. C. Your speed will stay about the same. D. Your speed will increase. Your speed will increase. Hydroplaning, happens most frequently with good tire tread. B. Can happen at speeds as low as 30 miles per hour. C. Is usually more common at extremely high speeds. D. Happens more frequently with higher than normal tire pressure. Can happen at speeds as low as 30 miles per hour. If you must back up, it is helpful to use only the passenger side mirror. B. Stick your head out the window and look backward. C. Get outside the truck and walk the path to look for obstacles. D. Go as fast as possible to get it over with. Get outside the truck and walk the path to look for obstacles. Rust around the wheel nuts may mean, that the nuts are too tight. B. It rained recently. C. The nuts are loose. The nuts are loose.